Now for the program brought to you by the McCoy, Houston, and Smith Attorneys at Law. And with us via telephone is our friend Jared.
Good morning, Ross. How are you?
I am doing fine. As we were talking prior to going on the air, you guys at the firm are working with one person in office and everybody else working remotely and the taking the heed of health and government officials.
That's right. We're doing our part to try and flatten the curve by working remotely, and so I am actually speaking to you all today via my cell phone.
Yeah. Well, we certainly, all of us are in this as we believe the terminology Team Kentucky does truly apply at this day and age.
That's right.
You want to throw out the disclaimer before we get started with today's word or phrase of the day?
Absolutely. Although I'm an attorney and McCoy, Houston, and Smith, we're a law firm, anything that I say today is not to be construed by our listeners as legal advice.
All right, sir. So we have a term of the day, and it is, and I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. This is the way I've always pronounced it, force majeure. How did I do?
Yeah, it's kind of a fun word to say since it's French.
It's French. I know.
But force majeure, it refers to an event or an occurrence, and it's an express, which means written provision in a contract, which states that if one party to the contract can't perform, due to an event outside of their control, then they are relieved from duty, or their period of time in which they have to perform their contractual obligations may be extended. It really depends on how that force majeure provision is drafted. So, and that's really applicable to where we are today as a society, because oftentimes when force majeure provisions are placed in the contracts, they're placed in there with terminology that refers to epidemics or pandemics, such as the coronavirus.
So what we're talking about here is that things can be changed due to the circumstances that in our world, the pandemic, and such as time and jurisdiction and so forth?
Yeah, it really depends on how that provision's drafted. Okay. So you'd have to look at each contract individually to determine, the scope of the effect of the provision. But essentially, the party who is trying to enforce the force majeure provision is saying, hey guys, I can't do what I'm supposed to do in the time that I'm supposed to get it done because of things outside of my control that are preventing me from doing it, like the coronavirus.
Yeah.